Let's make some crunchy, flaky, and delicious gizadas. The ingredients are on the screen. Let us go ahead and just pop the butter into the freezer for the butter to be hardened. We're going to grate our coconut and grate our nutmeg into the coconut. Then we're going to get our pot, add the amount of sugar that you want to how sweet you fancy it. Then we love flavor, so we're going to add some cinnamon, we're going to add some vanilla extract, and we're going to add some water to it to loosen it up. Keep in mind we're going to add a little bit more water once it's on the stove. We're going to cook it low flame until the coconut takes on the color of the sugar and until you have it this moist. We don't want to dry it out because it's going to be baked. We still want it to be moist. Then we're going to put it down to cool. Once it is cooling, we're going to go ahead and make our short crust pastry. Half fat to flour. You can use a fork to cut, use the back of the fork to cut the fat into the flour. If you have a pastry blender, you can go ahead and use a pastry blender. This is how it looks. Or you can just do this trick. I find it to be so much easier this way. Just get the hardened butter, cover it with flour, and use a box grater, the cheese section, and just grate the fat. It will cut your work in half, I promise you. Once that is done, use your fingertip to break up whatever big fat that you have, clumps of fat. Then we're going to add a little salt to it. Keep in mind, the fat that we add have a little salt in it already, so you have to be very careful to the amount of salt that you add to it. Then we're going to use a fork. Use cold water, knead everything together. We're not going to use our hand to knead it because we don't want to develop too much gluten. We want our product to be flaky and really nice. Then just use your hand to just take up whatever flour that is onto the bowl. Then we're going to cover it, place it into the fridge until our filling is cool. Once our filling is cool, we're going to light the flour, the tabletop and the rolling pin, and we're going to roll it out. Then we're going to cut out our round shapes. If you have a big mug or whatever circular container, you can use it to cut it out. If you realize I'm lifting up the flour because I don't want it to stick onto the tabletop. So once you cut it out now, all those scraps, don't throw it away. We're just going to squish everything together and then roll it out again and cut out the shape. Look on the technique of how to make the gizzada. Using your finger and just push and pinch. And you're going to do that all the way around. Then you can use your hand to just press down the inside to get it a little bit bigger. You don't have to, then you're going to put it on an ungreased baking tray. Don't grease the baking tray. Then we're going to fill it up with our delicious filling and pop it into the oven to bake at 400 degrees until finished. When it is finished, this is how the bottom crust should look. Beautiful. And when you break into it, you can feel the flake. It is delicious.